What's up, YouTube? It's ZTAY, aka Lil Red, and the NBA offseason has already started. We already got a whole bunch of trades, and we're already, what is this? It's only my third day out here. First off, we got Jrue Holiday going back to Portland, which he never really played for Anthony Simons. A lot of people thinking the Celtics fleeced on this one, but I'm going to get into it. Because not only did the Celtics get Simons, they also got 2 second-round picks. You guys know I'm not really big on second-round picks, so that don't really matter. But Simons is on an expiring contract, so Portland thinks that he'll probably leave them, after this upcoming season. And at the same time, Portland is also trying to make room and create more opportunities and minutes for Scoot Henderson, in my opinion. Anthony Simons, if you guys haven't been following the channel, is somebody I think very highly of, and I actually did a good amount of Portland Trailblazers reactions last season, and that man is a bucket. In my opinion, he is one of the most underrated pick and roll point guards in the entire NBA. And he's a great three-point shooter, which is what the Celtics want to do. Now, the reason people are thinking that the Celtics got fleeced is because Jrue Holiday, what is he, 35 years old, and Anthony Simons is 26. The Celtics know that they're going to be without Jason Tatum for a long time, even maybe without Jaylen Brown because of that injury. They're going to need a scorer, so they go out and say, let's go get one. Portland, on the other hand, a lot of people not talking about them, and I was just about to say like a week ago, Portland is a sleeper team. They have a lot of really good young players on their roster because now Portland has a lot of really good defenders in their starting lineup. Now, I'm not going to say all these guys are starting because Matisse Thybulle and Denny are not starting in the same lineup, and probably Donovan's not either. But they have a lot of young prospects on this team, including Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, which not a lot of people talk about, and their bench is kind of stacked because, of course, they have Donovan, second-year center, 7'3". But they also have Kamara, who just made an all-NBA defensive team. This might not even be the starting lineup. Shaedon might not even be a starter, although he probably is because he's the best scorer in this lineup, in my opinion. But my point is, the Portland Trailblazers have some depth now. And this backcourt of Scoot and Jrue Holiday, if it goes as planned, looks really good to me. And you got some really good wing scorers. You got a really stacked bench. You got really good defense now because you got Thybulle, Jrue Holiday, and Toumani Camara all on the same team. That's ridiculous. Those are 3 of the best defenders in the entire league. And we've seen the recipe for success in the NBA is defense and depth. We've seen the last couple years, those are the teams that are winning the NBA Finals. Now, I'm not saying the Trailblazers is going to win the Finals, but I really like this lineup in terms of maybe being competitive this year. And Thybulle is now opting into his player option, so he's going to be back for another season. This team is going defensive first minded, and I really like it, and they're giving Scoot a big opportunity to handle the offense now with Shaedon. And, of course, Jeremy Grant. But there are reports that Jrue Holiday is really mad that he was traded to the Trailblazers, maybe traded again. If you guys didn't know, in that Damian Lillard trade, the Bucks actually traded Jrue Holiday to Portland, and then Portland didn't even want him and shipped him off to Boston, and that's why Boston ended up with him. So maybe, I don't know if this report is real, but if it is, maybe he's mad because they didn't want him and it's Portland. But I would really like to see Jrue Holiday and Scoot in the same backcourt together. I think it's interesting. They're saying that they could trade Jrue Holiday. I don't think it's going to happen, but, who knows? I'm interested in seeing teams rerouted because I would love the Lakers to get Jrue Holiday. Because in my opinion, Jrue Holiday is one of those guys that is a piece you need for a championship team, and I don't think Portland is a championship team, and he's aging. So it's like, he is a win now type of player if a team is taking the risk on him, which goes to show that the Boston Celtics are not expecting to win the championship next year, which I love to see. But again, he's 35 years old, so any team that is really wanting Jrue thinks that they can be contenders. And I honestly think the Blazers are a sleeper team, and I know that's crazy. That's maybe a crazy take, but I kind of believe in the Portland Trailblazers because they're kind of underrated. I want to know how you guys feel about this trade. Do you guys think the Celtics fleeced? Because they got a young 26-year-old coming up next really good point guard for an aging 35-year-old Jrue Holiday. So I want to know your guys' thoughts on this trade, but moving on to the next one. The Pelicans are trading CJ McCollum. They get off that contract. Kelly Olynyk, they didn't want him, and a future second-round pick. That's not a lot. Let's be honest. For Jordan Poole and Saddiq Bey and the 40th pick, this is huge. I don't know why the Wizards are doing this. Don't know why they want CJ McCollum and Kelly Olynyk so bad. Maybe the Wizards think that they're going to be competitive with Chris Middleton and CJ McCollum because they're vets. But the Washington Wizards trade away Jordan Poole, Saddiq Bey, and the 40th pick. Now, both these guards are on pretty bad contracts, right? When I say bad, pretty expensive contracts for the value that they have been producing. But now, because of that trade, Washington is expected to have some cap space in the following offseason. So they are rebuilding, full rebuild mode. They take on CJ's contract because they know it's expiring, probably, I'm sure. And they're giving up on Jordan Poole. That being said, the Pelicans are getting Jordan Poole. The 40th pick that's a second round pick. So, you know, I can't really overhype that. Pelicans are getting Jordan Poole. I kind of like this for New Orleans because CJ was not what they needed last year, because I think the Pelicans are a better team than what they have been showing the last couple seasons. Obviously, Zion staying healthy is a big reason to their success or failure, but CJ has just not been what they needed at that one. And I think maybe them getting a young Jordan Poole, the keys, if Zion is not healthy, this is going to be pretty good for the city of New Orleans. I don't think it's going to put them over the top or anything, but this is a pretty good value because Saddiq Bey is not a bad player as well, and you're getting rid of Kelly Olynyk and CJ. In my opinion, this is a W trade for the New Orleans Pelicans, and then this is a trade for the Wizards so they could eventually rebuild. So the Wizards going to be trash another year, guys. Maybe somewhat competitive. They're not winning anything. The Wizards are full go rebuild mode. But last season, Jordan Poole almost averaged 21 points a game on 60% true shooting. Almost averaged 4 threes a game. Second season, averaging 20 points plus per game in under 30 minutes, the most in NBA history. Jordan Poole is not a bad player. He's a big part of that 2022 championship for the Golden State Warriors, and the Warriors gave up on him because, you know, he's inconsistent. He's kind of like the Jalen Green of the East, but now he's coming to the West. So interesting. Back to the West for Jordan Poole in New Orleans. How you guys feeling about this fit? I don't think this is going to really change things up too much, except the fact that it's just going to look different and be fun because that's how the NBA is. Just a lot of moving every single offseason, and that's why it keeps the league fresh. I like this trade. New Orleans gets Jordan Poole. Moving on to the next trade, it's another Celtics trade. Kristaps Porzingis is going to the Hawks with Trae Young. That right there gets me kind of excited. You know, maybe the East is open for the Atlanta Hawks because a lot of people talking about Dame Lillard's injured, Tyrese is injured, Jason Tatum's injured, Jaylen Brown's injured, all these injuries in the East. The East can be wide open next year outside of the Knicks and maybe the Bucks because they still have Giannis. And now the Hawks getting Kristaps Porzingis, who is very injury prone, doesn't play a lot. And we've seen in the playoffs, there's a lot of allegations on what type of sickness he's got. I'm not going to speculate on that, but I think this is a good move by the Celtics to get off of this Porzingis thing because, in my opinion, Porzingis is a very high risk, low reward type of player. High risk, high reward type of player, however you want to put it, because he's not on the floor a lot. But when he's on the floor, he's very good when he's healthy. And last year, if you guys didn't see, there looked to be something wrong with this guy. So I don't know if his conditioning is a factor that because he's missing a lot of games, or it's a deeper issue with him internally and physically. But hypothetically, if he is healthy, I love this pairing with him and Trae Young. And they got some shooters around. Now, who do they give up for it? Terrence Mann, the 22nd pick to the Nets, and George Niang in a second rounder. So, I mean, they lose Jrue Holiday and they go out and get Terrence Mann. So they know they lost a defender. They're going out and getting Terrence Mann. They're going young. They just got Anthony Simons and Terrence Mann. George Niang, he's just a throw-in type of guy. So the Celtics are giving up on their championship core, probably because of that Jason Tatum injury. It's kind of pushing the clock a little bit. So they're saying we got to do things now. We're going to go young. We're going to get off some of these contracts. Jrue Holiday, Porzingis, you guys are gone. You guys are kind of getting older. Porzingis, you can't stay on the floor. Let's get a young Anthony Simons and Terrence Mann and maybe try to win some games with that. As for the Hawks, they are fully trying to retool around Trae Young. They're not trading Trae Young. We've seen all the rumors the last couple of years. This trade tells me they're not trading Trae Young because you want to pair Porzingis with a really good point guard. We've seen it didn't really work out with Luka, but I think Trae Young is a good fit for him. Trae Young was making Clint Capella at 50 years old look pretty decent. So I like this trade for Atlanta. I like this trade for Boston. I think this is a pretty smart trade for both teams. I think Atlanta could benefit more from it. And also Brooklyn gets in here too. I don't know who the hell Brooklyn gets. I guess they get a draft pick. But yeah, how you guys feeling about this? Boston Celtics getting rid of Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, two big pieces in that championship core. But they get some youth back in Anthony and Terrence Mann. And Atlanta is saying we have a chance next year because of all these injuries in the East. And maybe if we get Trae Young, a very great center, when healthy and take a risk, we have a chance to win because we've seen them get to the Eastern Conference Finals and they just haven't got over that hump. And I think maybe Kristaps, if healthy, if sickness thing isn't a big concern, if conditioning is there, there's a lot of big ifs. There's a high risk taking a chance on Porzingis, especially with his contract. This could be a move that could potentially pay off big for the Hawks. And they didn't really give up too much. So I like this trade by Atlanta. Now, this is big for the Celtics because they're now out of the salary cap second apron. When they made that trade for Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, I was like, where are they getting all this money, bro? This is ridiculous. Their owner sold the team, and now they're getting rid of all these contracts, and they got a championship out of it. So I guess that's a W for the Celtics. I don't really care about the Celtics, but whatever. But now they're saying, all right, let's retool. The new owner is saying, hey, GM, I know you're smart. Brad, let's go out and make some moves and get us into a position where we can be flexible a little bit and get out this second apron that the NBA has now put into the CBA thing and all that stuff, and get rid of Porzingis because he's not available all the time. He wanted a chip, cool. He's out of there. Jrue Holiday wanted a chip, cool. He's out of there. He's getting older. Boston Celtics is playing the long game. I think the Celtics are smart, man. They're just gonna stay competitive. Unfortunately. Anthony Simons, I'm not going to say he's a championship guy right now. I don't think the Celtics are going to be contenders. I could be wrong. Celtics are not going to be contenders next year, but they are prepared to stay relevant and be contenders in 2 years, in an extra year. I think they're playing the game the right way, you know, and all these other teams are just trying to benefit off of it. Like I said, I like the Jrue Holiday to the Blazers if he chooses to stay there. It's not up to him, whatever. And I like Porzingis to the Hawks. That's what I like. The Celtics are kind of making these other East teams a little bit more interesting, and I like that. That's it for trades, but then this is big too because Kyrie declined his player option. So everybody's like, oh, free agency, right? We've seen this story before. He declined his player option for Boston, told the fans he was going to re-sign, and then said, nah, never mind. But he's intending to re-sign for a 3-year deal with Dallas to stay there a long time and get a big deal done. There could be a fear that you never know with Kyrie. He's unpredictable, but Kyrie himself went out and tweeted, he's staying with the Mavericks. Now, we never know what Kyrie changed his mind, but in my opinion, he's staying with the Mavericks. He's got AD now. He's going to get Cooper Flag. He's got a really good team around him. They extended Daniel Gafford too. I didn't talk about that as well. Daniel Gafford got a big contract. Dallas are keeping this team together. They believe in the vision that Nico had when he traded Luka. And Kyrie's getting that money and getting that bag and securing the future. It's a risk because these guys are kind of older, but I really like this Dallas roster. They're going to be good next year, really good. And I love that Cooper is going to a team that's already ready to be contenders. This team is going to be very scary in the West if they can stay healthy. Mavs fans, how you guys feeling about Kyrie Irving re-signing potentially with you guys? A lot of stuff already going on in the league, couple trades. I want to know you guys' thoughts on everything. Does this impact the league? Are these trades big enough to make such a big difference? Did anybody just make a stupid move Let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. And as always, man, if you guys want to help out the channel, be sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you guys are new and want to stay up to date with all the offseason news in the NBA, because I'm going to be making these videos every single day. It's going to get crazy over the next couple days because the NBA draft is coming up. Also, we know Summer League's coming up. You guys know I go every single year. There's going to be a semi-little vlog. As always, man, we get to go see Cooper Flag, man, in person. This Summer League is going to be a lot of fun, man. Trust me, the offseason is never over. Like I said, I'm going to do WNBA reactions. I wanted to do that Dallas game last night because my girl Paige kind of cooking, but they still lost. And I'm waiting for CC to play better because in the last 2 games, I tweeted it. Caitlin Clark is 1 for 17 from 3 with 14 turnovers. Dog, Caitlin, I'm going to need you to play better because I kind of want to get excited watching some basketball again. Basketball is not over. The reactions to basketball games itself is not over. But also, a lot of NBA fans' favorite time of the year is the NBA offseason because there's a lot of drama. I'm not going to lie, it is fun. But like I said, there's a lot of NBA fans that don't even like basketball. They just like the drama of it. This is their time, man. NBA is never over, and that's why I love this sport so much.